Count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings and see what God has done. Alright, way back Wednesday, and almost time for the end of our Count Your Blessings challenge. And of course, Thanksgiving for those of us in the United States. Before that, here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I support you. The shout out is for our friends. Let's see who it is today. Alright, and there it is. That started. Oh. Okay, here we go. Let's see, who do we got here? Oh, that didn't work. Okay, here we go. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. So I can not bump it this time. I see Martin, I see Sheastal, I see Hippie, Watchers, A Space, Mountain Man, Tour, Musha, Mimi, Ocean, Turtle, VS, Trending, She Stole, Eddie, and White Queen, Sarah, Pete, there's Old Fart, there's Sheena, there's Goat, there's Southern, there's Camping, who's it gonna be? There's Jared, and there's Bend. Okay, hold on a minute. Continue, Mr. Red.
Well, here's an interesting little attachment to the November 22nd of this year, National Jukebox Day. Now, again, day before Thanksgiving, music's soundtrack of our lives, and this day celebrates the jukebox, shining some light on the device that has brought and still brings music into the lives in a special way. Jukebox has a rich history. The nostalgia carries is unparalleled. It has been around era after era of modern music, from jazz to country to blues to rock. We actually owned one in our storage unit.
Yes.
And you can celebrate this historic machine today as you visit your hometown restaurants or bars in preparation for Thanksgiving with family and old friends. The jukebox, the history, revolutionized music in multiple ways. With the invention of the jukebox, people could enjoy music in restaurants and bars. Artists found new ways to get public exposure and further enabled to sell vinyl. The jukebox is a historical and cultural symbol in more ways than one. Lewis Glass and William S. Arnold, managers of the Pacific Phonograph Company, created the first jukebox, called a nickel and a slot phonograph at the time. This revolutionary was displayed at the Palais Royal Saloon in San Francisco, California in 1889, November. It saw instant success, making over $4,000, the equivalent of about $120,000 today, in the first year alone, and inspired innumerable people to create different versions all over the U.S. In no time, phonograph parlors with multiple nickel-in-the-slot phonographs spread across America and Europe. Now, as the machine's expansion and popularity increased, technological advancements were made. Record manufacturers came up with methods to produce record copies more efficiently. Amplifiers were developed to enable large groups to listen simultaneously, and a disc record replaced the phonograph in cylinder. In 1905, John Gable presented the automatic entertainer to the world, which had 24 songs. In 1928, Justice P. Seberg manufactured a multi-select jukebox called the Audiophone, and it had 8 separate turntables, allowing people to choose from 8 different records. That's a lot of turntable in one thing.
Yes, it is.
Now, the jukebox took a hit when radio, another form of free entertainment, emerged in the 1920s, and in the Great Depression hit, the sale of records saw a drastic dip when people lost the ability to spend on recreation. However, after the Great Depression, jukeboxes quickly bounced back, and they were thrust into the golden age as people got ready to live it up again. Now, the term jukebox is believed to have originated in Southern American states and came into existence in 1937. Since then, the jukebox popularity has increased steadily, its form ever-changing, from a wooden box with listening tubes and colorful lights, metal, art, deco designs, and even bubbles. Jukebox gave new meaning to the entertainment and gave artists a louder voice. They have done innumerable things for humanity, inspiring TouchTunes, a digital jukebox platform, to declare the day before Thanksgiving as the National Jukebox Day in 2017. Now, it says that jukeboxes were equipped originally with amplifiers and multi-select discs in 1928. The jukebox name was derived from the slang juke, meaning to dance and act wildly. Have you acted wildly lately?
No.
In 1998, TouchTunes launched the first digital jukebox network, allowing customers to search and browse a digital library of 750 songs. And then, of course, the TouchTunes celebrated the first National Jukebox Day on the anniversary of the nickel in the slot phonograph installation, 2017. Now, some fun, frequently asked questions. Depending on the model, a jukebox, digital ones can be grabbed for between $50 and $1,500. Now, is there another name for jukebox? Well, the original names, like coin-operated phonograph, multi-select phonograph, jukeboxes also were commonly known as music boxes. Now, the rarest jukebox, any guesses, anyone? Anybody want to take a shot at this?
Big one? I don't know.
The 1936 Gable Starlight is one of the rarest jukeboxes. According to here, there's only 5 known. So I can imagine if you wanted one, you'd be paying a pretty penny. Now, National Jukebox Day activities. These are some things you can do around town. See a jukebox. If you're lucky enough to be near a restaurant, diner, or any establishment with a jukebox, go and give it a listen. Fulfill your nostalgic dreams. Get a jukebox app.
That seems like cheating.
Exactly. YouTube, anyone? To feel involved from the comfort of your home, there are plenty of apps to choose from to replicate the experience of a jukebox. Something is better than nothing. Listen to your favorite tracks. You don't even need a jukebox to celebrate that. The jukebox is a vital part of music listening history, so you can enjoy your favorite playlists and reflect on the rich history behind them. Now, 5 interesting facts to deal with the jukebox. For one, there actually was a battle over from the creators. 2 other creators tried to patent the coin-operated phonographs, but the Glass and Arnold version were the first public to make an appearance. Some were mysterious. Some jukeboxes were present in speakeasies, and they had a certain exotic appeal to them. As technology advanced, they had miniature jukeboxes with built-in speakers that were developed to be put on walls. Let's hang the jukebox from a wall, right?
Right.
Not a Nickelodeon. It's a common misconception that jukeboxes were known as Nickelodeons at one point. However, there's no evidence. So, sorry, Nickelodeon. You missed out on that one. Now, the big 4 of the industry giants AMI, Rockola, Wurlitzer, and Seberg, dominated the world of jukeboxes with their innovations. If I remember, I think the one we actually got in storage is a Wurlitzer.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Now, why we love National Jukebox Day? It revolutionized music. I mean, there was like 2 places where you could hear tunes. Well, 3 if you wanted to count the car. You had your radio, you had in the car, you had a jukebox. And, from those 3 locations, maybe you just caught a glimpse of a song. You heard it, and this is before MTV entered the world. And sometimes you'd hear a song, you'd be like, oh, when is it going to be on again? Sometimes you call the radio station. What was that song that was just playing? My local radio station, I called them a lot for some reason. Maybe it's because I like music. But no matter your genre of choice, music plays an important role in all of your lives. The invention of the jukebox paved the way for millions of music listening devices we enjoy today. Again, it'll show my age. I remember back when we had Windows, I think there was Windows 95, Windows 98, there was actually Winamp. And you could build a playlist of tunes, burn them straight from CDs.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
And then you'd build, and you could play as many songs as you liked, as often as you liked. And it was fun. You could set an arm it for 10 hours, and then just let it play in the background while you're busy playing D&D. Now, in the earliest years, the jukebox also gave public exposure to artists from all walks of life, including black musicians. There is a significant step, especially at a time when radios only played music from white artists. One of the things we kind of had a fun time with around here, my parents were big into the Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, Mamas and the Papas, the Ventures, and so, it pretty much carved how my listening was. However, when I got to be a disc jockey, there was fun. Now, our original radio station up in Spearfish, you had 2 turntables, you had a really interesting looking CD player, because literally you had to open the case, set the CD in it, and then shove the whole case into the CD player for it to play music. And that was like the early days of CDs. A lot of stuff that we did, though, was all off of vinyl. A lot of pop, a lot of rock, a lot of oldies, and then they started switching into alternative about 1993. Now, it is nostalgic. Just the sight of a cute, colorful jukebox unlocks so many memories, whether it's the 90s music, diner dates, or even fashion trends from the time. Who doesn't love a good throwback? Now, I have seen some jukeboxes that do have a bit of variety. I've seen the small style that used to sit on a table, maybe have, 6 to 8 little things you can flip through depending on what song you wanted to listen to. Those were really cool. The one jukebox I still would love to get my hands on, especially if it's fully loaded, I saw a jukebox that was all CDs. And there must have been close to 200 CDs in this one. And you could play any one of the songs off of that individual CD. You just had to key in what number, what album, and you were good to go. And it also had pretty good sound quality. But that's the fun thing with jukeboxes, is that it gave you a outlet to music you might never hear of again. And all it takes is somebody else in the diner or in your local bar decide to give it a play. But that's the fun for our National Jukebox Day. Again, it's locked down. Interestingly enough, this one is locked down to the Wednesday, the day right before Thanksgiving. And so, it'll be the 22nd this year. Next year it'll be the 27th. Wow, that's late.
Yeah.
And then goes back up to the 26th in 2025. And they do mention, there are a couple, if you want to call them related holidays. There's Buy a Musical Instrument Day, comes around on May 22nd. International Music Day, October the 1st. International Reggae Day on the 1st of July. But those are our primary holidays. And
those are primary holidays?
Yes. Then there's the semi-primaries.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Not pretty sure how it works?
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Well, I mean, we also had Mickey and Minnie's birthday, but that was a couple days ago, too. Although, I'm surprised we didn't catch this one. The 19th, National Play Monopoly Day.
Why would you want to do that one?
Because then we could watch them flip the table in frustration. Hey, Angel, show me how you flip that table.
Besides that, you're only supposed to do the national days on your for the members video, not just randomly throughout the month. Silly man.
True.
That's why it's called. That's why you're supposed to keep them separate.
Separate.
Why am I letting you get away with this? Because you're weird.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are short.
I know.
13 minutes for both.
No, so. You stamp them together then?
Yeah, I'll stamp them together. Say goodnight.
Good night.
I couldn't find the red dot because I wasn't on the right spot.
Red dot.
All right, Mr. Bud, what are you going to tell us?
Well, as we like to take and tinker around with our calendars, Wednesday, November the 22nd is Humane Society Anniversary Day. Humane Society Anniversary Day, celebrated on the 22nd every year, signifies the establishment of Humane Society International, the world's largest animal protection organization. Now, it says, do you know that every year Humane Society International saves hundreds of animals from cruelty cases? Humane Society International strives to promote the human-animal bond, protect and rescue animals, and more across the world. Now, the Humane Society International, or HSI, is a non-profit organization dedicated to the promoting of animal welfare, addressing issues such as animal cruelty, including inhumane practices and conditions affecting companion and farm animals, illegal animal trade, animal slaughter, and the use of animals in research and product testing.
Sounds like PETA.
Kind of. Humane Society International was founded in 1991 with its headquarters located in Washington, D.C. Currently, the CEO is, of all names, Kitty Block.
You gotta put a cat in charge.
You got the charge, yes, meow. Now, the Humane Society Anniversary Day is a day that celebrates the establishment of this organization. Now, it's in almost 50 countries around the world. The group collaborates with national and international governments, humane organizations, animal protectionists, and animal welfare campaigners. They work together to find solutions to act against animal cruelty and encourage an ethic of respect and compassion for all life. Humane Society International also assists policymakers in drafting of animal-friendly legislation, rules, policy statements, and resolutions. It promotes animal welfare through trade capacity, building projects in developing countries, and international anti-cruelty campaigns. Now, Humane Society International has risen to prominence over the years and is now a regular and active participant in international events such as the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. The United Nations has also granted it a Category 1A General Consultative status. Currently, there are more than 12 million supporters for Humane Society International globally, and it's the largest animal protection organization in the world, with branches in all major countries, including India and South Korea. Now, as noted, it started in 1991 as the International Division of Humane Society in the United States was established. Then that chapter opened in India, in Hyderabad, 1993, spread out to Australia in 1994 to help support animal conservation. They also awarded, in 2012, the Extraordinary Commitment and Achievement Award to a Marcel Meredith, Executive Director of the National Council on Societies for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, South Africa. That is a heck of a long title. Did you run out of letters, or were you just trying to catch the entire keyboard in one shot?
All the keyboard in one shot.
Here we go. Now, it says, why is it so important to stop animal cruelty? Violence against animals has been linked to higher likelihood of criminal violence and domestic abuse, so violence against animals must be stopped. Is the Humane Society International a legal organization? Yes, it's a legal organization that is recognized by all the major governments of the world as well as the United Nations. Is it safe to donate? Yes, it is safe to donate to the Humane Society International. Thousands of people across the world donate millions to this non-profit organization.
Just make sure to do it on the official website and not through some scammer who's saying that they're with that organization.
Exactly. Go right to the source. Now, how to observe Humane Society Anniversary Day? Well, first of all, and I have to give a shout out to Noelle Gibbs because this is right up her alley, Save the Animals. She's a big fan of going to learn how to speak English.
No.
She's a big fan of doggos, and she's had doggos, she's had guinea pigs, she loves pit bulls, and she's always posting pictures of nearby shelters and stuff. So if you love animals, don't go to a puppy farm. You know, there's millions out there wanting to be adopted. You know, give them a break in life. Best way to commemorate Humane Society Anniversary Day is to treat animals with kindness every day. As a result, you can strive to assist animals in your city or neighborhood. Don't go tormenting them.
What?
Anyway, number 2, join an HSI event. Humane Society International conducts several events across the world on Humane Society Anniversary Day. You can join the events and meet fellow animal advocates. Number 3, share your favorite Humane Society story. Share with you intriguing stories with the world via social media if you're an active animal activist who is continually making a difference for animals in your neighborhood and around the world. Now, 5 facts about the Humane Society we bet you didn't know. Okay, show of hands, class. According to statistics, 1 animal is abused every minute in the world. That's a lot of minutes, that's a lot of animals.
Yes, it is.
10 million murders. Annually, over 10 million animals in the U.S. die as a result of abuse annually. Now, here's one that we've heard a lot in the media. Somehow people are still getting away with it, probably because, well, there's other countries besides the United States that make things like, you know, eye toner and other things. Many brands test their products on animals, with laboratories testing over 115 million animals every year. That's a lot of animals. Puppy mills. The U.S. has over 10,000 known puppy mills. Many circuses abuse animals. According to recent reports, all major circuses that use animals end up being, intentionally or not, abusing them. Why the Humane Society Anniversary Day is so important? As they say, it's a much-needed day. The Humane Society Anniversary Day is a much-needed holiday that spreads awareness about the cruelty against animals. By celebrating this day, we can also potentially tell others that the Humane Society organizations exist to protect the animals. Second step, it says animals need a voice. Despite the fact that most animals are fully capable of surviving in the wild or in cities on their own, they are subjected to a great deal of cruelty and abuse. We can be their voice. Next up, it says it teaches us about life. One thing we can take home from the Humane Society Anniversary is that not only humans, but all creatures are created equal. We need to treat all animals with compassion and love. And then it also mentions that the date is pretty much, tacked onto the calendar, the 22nd, whether it's a Wednesday, whether it's a Friday. It's stuck on that single day. So it'll walk around the calendar a little bit. Like in 2027, it'll be on a Monday. You have to love Mondays, don't you? No. Now, the one thing that I will say that is interesting about this group, and I love animals. I love cats, love dogs, love birds. We really love birds right now because, well, Angel's been feeding them off of the deck, and she's shown me pictures, which is really cool. But I will also be the same guy that says, there is animals that need to be taken care of, and then you also have last year in Wyoming, they had a lot of deer die off because of the cold, and they didn't have a lot of people that hunted them. And so, that was meat that could have gone to, poorhouses. That's food that could have, been auctioned off, and then the goods given to homeless people. There was a lot of things that can be done. Now, I do know that there are cases where, locally we had a fellow that lived in Crichton who was running, apparently, I think when the Humane Society finally visited out there, there was dogs, cats, birds, rats, and it was just, it was a mess all the way around. There was a person that A, should never have tried to do a farm, and B, I think they just either, got to the stage of dementia where they didn't realize what they were doing, or even C, they, got in over their heads. Thankfully, all the animals were able to be picked up. The ones that could survive were brought back to the shelter here in Rapid, but it's one of those cases where there's just too many animals for one person to try to handle and take care of, and in a way, they never should have even been put in that position. They never should have even tried. Now, likely, there are some people that go, oh, well, you can't have turkey. Turkey's an animal. I'm sorry, it's Thanksgiving. I love turkey. I love turkey fritters. I love, turkey gravy. There's a lot of food animals that are out there. Now, granted, you're not going to go see me try horse. Duh.
No.
Well,
I mean, I understand, like, Angel's not a big meat person, and that is more, at least he says it's more texture than anything. But at the same time, I do respect those who don't want to eat meat, but you have to remember that those populations have to be controlled. Like this, you said with the deers, if they're not contained within a reasonable amount, then they're going to run out of resources, the same as any other being, humans, animals, whatever.
Yeah, and it's the thing is that they need to find a balance of equilibrium so that food can be harvested. I mean, when my dad was a little shaver, they had to go and hunt for meat because guess what? There were no grocery stores. So either what you had left over from a good abundant harvest, but if you guys wanted a little extra meat, that was that rabbit. My dad also told me about the fact that antelope, unless you can catch them right away, an antelope, surprisingly enough, he said that if they get a chance to run, it ruins the taste of the meat, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how that works.
It has something to do with the adrenaline.
The adrenaline?
I've heard that a few times too.
Yeah.
If you can take them in a calm state,
it's easier and it tastes better.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah. And then, there's also things that, for example, I would never eat a moose. I've heard that they're very lean on the meat cycle. Deer is really lean. But, it also comes down to the point that here, locally we have a thing with people complaining about the mountain lions. I'm sorry, you moved into the canyon. You moved into their neighborhood, not them into yours.
Right.
Of course, if you're also dumb enough to move into mountain lion territory and you keep your dog out on a leash, you don't like your dog very much. That kitty just said, oh, congratulations, you just gave me a treat. But the thing is that, these folks are working, around the country and the world, not just here in the States. And they're trying to, bring attention to how these animals are treated, You hear about in the days back when they used to do the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus, how they would treat things like elephants or tigers. And so I can kind of understand in some of those cases where if I had to take the choice between living in some tent or living out in the jungle as an elephant, give me the jungle. But anyway, that was today's happy little tidbit, 22nd of November. If you get a chance, go check out a local Humane Society shelter. Find a new buddy. Bring him on home. But this has been Joe, the bearded historian, with Sue, the brains behind the whole operation. We'll catch you folks later. Have a good one.